All right, thanks for tuning in to Leading Forecast here. Let's go on over and a lot to talk about today. Here's Hurricane Sandy down here off the Atlantic coast, and not looking as organized as it was last night, even around midnight, 1 a.m. Convection has calmed down, and we don't see those bright colors down here that we normally see. Low pressure center up here in Canada, cold front draping down, showers and thunderstorms getting going along that cold front. Taking a look at that visible satellite, here's Sandy down here, and then there's that cold front. You can see all the cloud cover associated with that cold front, quite a large front draping down through there. There's the rain and showers and thunderstorms getting going, some snow back here towards Colorado. And then those rain bands from Sandy are starting to come on shore, affect places from like Okeechobee down towards Miami, even the Florida Keys, getting in on some of that rain. Taking a look at Hurricane Sandy right now, Category 1 storm, we do have winds sustained at 80 miles per hour and gusting to 100 miles per hour, 970 millibars, so the pressure has went up over the past 12 hours or so, and it is continuing to move north at 6 miles per hour. Projected path from the National Hurricane Center brings it north and then swings it east a little farther out to sea before getting caught up in the 500 millibar trough and bringing it back west and making landfall on the eastern seaboard. Going on over right now, tropical storm warnings in effect for the eastern peninsula of Florida. We do have tropical storm watches in effect from basically the Georgia-South Carolina line up towards north central North Carolina, basically the Cape Hatteras area. And then let's go on over and take a look. This is the 500 millibar pattern. This is the vorticity. Here's Sandy right here, but what we're watching is this 500 millibar trough digging in here, and this piece of energy right here is going to swing down, and that's going to be kind of what affects Sandy and interacts with it and decides where she's going to go. So there's that piece of energy here. This is as we get into Friday, or later this afternoon. This is as we get into Saturday. This energy that was up here now swings down and is this little piece of energy coming through Illinois, Missouri, northern Arkansas, and then here's Sandy sitting right here. And as we get into Sunday afternoon, 8 p.m. East Coast time, here's that piece of energy now wrapping Sandy in and starting to phase it with this 500 millibar trough. And as we get into Monday, there's Sandy now making impact or landfall, if you will, on the East Coast. And as we get into Tuesday, now kind of still meandering and kind of becomes almost like a cutoff low away from the main jet stream and is meandering around the western PA, eastern Ohio area. Going on over, this is the NAM. This is short range model. Taking a look, here's Sandy sitting down here. Your cold front sitting through here as we get into Saturday afternoon. As we get into Sunday, Sandy slowly making her way up the East Coast, and then Monday finally making landfall right around the New York area. Look at all these isobars tightly packed. This storm is what we would call bombing out or experiencing bombogenesis. Basically what that means, or the criteria for that, is we measure pressure by millibars, air pressure. And so 1 millibar an hour for 24 hours is the definition of bombing out. And basically what happens, why that does that, is you got cold air sitting back here in the backside of the storm, and now the storm's pulling up very warm, moist air out of the southern hemisphere, or not the southern hemisphere, but the Gulf and the southern portions of the United States off of the water. And when you have real cold air here and real warm air here, basically what it does is it causes that storm to deepen rapidly. And that's exactly what we're seeing with this storm. And by this time, it's no longer a tropical storm, it's extratropical, and that's a whole nother subject. Going on over, this is as we get into, this is the GFS model tomorrow afternoon. Here's Sandy down here. Again, there's your cold front. As we get into Sunday afternoon, this swings Sandy farther off the coast on Sunday as well as Monday before getting caught up with the 500 millibar trough and bombing out over the northeast as it makes landfall about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at least for this model for the GFS on Tuesday. The Euro, which is the model we've really been watching, it's been very consistent with this storm. There's as we get into tomorrow afternoon, and again, there's your cold front still up to the northeast. It kind of gets just trapped there, if you will. And then as we get into Sunday, coming up the East Coast, experiencing some high winds and some heavy rains along the East Coast. And then as we get into Monday afternoon, here comes Sandy making landfall on the East Coast, a little farther south than a lot of these models are projecting. Models are projecting up in here while the Euro's projecting down in here. Regardless, doesn't matter. It's more than likely going to make landfall along the East Coast somewhere. The good news with this storm was originally thinking there could be some snow with this. It looks like your cold air is going to be far enough in back of this system, especially your colder air, because we need colder air this time of year, like the 534 line, which is probably like it's a colder line than 32 degrees. Or a colder air temperature than 32 degrees. So your snow stays out ahead, or your rain stays out ahead of this, so I don't think we'll see any kind of major transition to snow. Then as we get in, this is the QPF, or the quantitative precipitation forecast for the East Coast. Basically, this measures all the rain, I should say, that's going to fall on the East Coast within the next 5 days, and you can see quite a lot of rain. In fact, that yellowish tint right there, that's probably about 7.5, 8 inches. I can't tell what the official reading is there. It's kind of mixed in with everything else. But a lot of rain, and remember, this is just for the next 5 days. This doesn't include time after if that low is still spinning there. Anyways, this is a big storm, no matter. A significant storm, not only in meteorological aspects, but a significant storm as far as impacts for the Northeast. We're going to continue to watch this. I'll have more updates probably later on tonight and definitely throughout the weekend. You can also follow me on Twitter at Swift Forecast, and I will include the link. Have a great weekend.